weather.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Yep. Are we live right now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we don't have an intro anymore.
Right?
What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
Welcome to episode 81 of Behind the Tool Belt with TC Backer Construction. We got a little bit of change of scenery here. We can thank glorious old Comcast for that.
Yes.
Messing our internet up down at the studio.
Absolutely.
So we are live from our conference room up here in the TC Backer headquarters.
Yep.
Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today, as always. Shout out to all the people that tune in religiously and pull educational benefits out of this. Specifically you, Mike Brown, I know you're listening.
Yes.
Can't wait to see you on Friday, buddy.
Absolutely.
He's been a watcher of ours for quite a while. We're going to be doing a $149 roof inspection on his house. It's one of the first ones that I'm personally going to be doing.
Yep.
So me and Giovanni are going to go down there on Friday and give him a little bit of education on what's going on with his roof.
Nice.
The good thing about that is, you know, that's he purchased. We actually didn't install his roof, but he has a roof that a house that he bought from a builder that we do work for in that same area. So, you know, Giovanni and myself are all very familiar with that style building. I mean, we didn't specifically do his roof, but we've done these models and I mean hundreds of them. So, looking forward to that, man. We got our solar install that we're going to be doing tomorrow. We'll be going live from that. That should be interesting and fun. I'm really excited about that, to get the team out there, get hands-on with that, actually physically install these panels, have the GAF people out there. We've got some GAF people flying in.
Yes. Very exciting.
Yeah, man, it's going to be educational. It's just nice to have a change of scenery.
Yeah, change of
pace.
pace.
Yeah.
Change
Not my daily
Right.
thing. I'm going to try very hard to not be on my telephone all day.
Yep.
It's going to be
Trying
hard.
to pay attention.
Hopefully everything goes good, which I know it will, man. The team's put a lot of work into it. Lauren and Vic and you know, everyone behind that. Howard.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone's been doing a lot of work.
Yeah, right. Derek and Denny, you know, those guys behind the scenes have been doing their training and stuff like that. It will be nice to actually get some hands-on experience and be trained by the best in the business. I mean, fans coming in, Karen's going to be here, everyone's going to be here. All from GAF Energy, they're very super excited.
Dude, their energy.
Yes.
Like that's the big thing that I remember when they came in and they did their little conference here in our shop.
Yep.
Just the energy of these people, and like, you know, we say all the time about, you know, having passion in what you do. Like, these people are passionate.
Yes.
About
Absolutely.
energy.
Yes.
They're passionate about the solar game.
Yeah.
And their will to teach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is unmatched. So,
It is.
You know,
And the whole thing is Karen used to actually be a school teacher.
right.
So
you can tell.
Yes.
You can tell
Yes. And to listen to her talk and the way that she talks, it's easy to pick up what she's putting down. You know, and how grateful are we for those of them to have chose us to be a part of the GAF Energy family now.
Yeah.
So you know, we've had several different calls come in. Lauren's running a site survey on a hopefully potential lead. Pastor Joel, we did a site survey on his home. So the calls are coming in, so we're super excited about that. We're hoping to get a few more of these under our belt, you know, by the middle of August, by the end of August. Hopefully we can get, you know, 5 to 10 more of these under our belt. They will be here with us for the first couple. I really feel like we got a really good grip on what needs to be done, but again, I prefer them to be with us while we're doing the first one to get our hands-on experience. There's been a lot going on, you know, between trying to figure out if we got the right equipment, knowing, you know, getting the right equipment that we need, the right tools that we need, the right people in place, and also super excited that, you know, we're able to provide, you know, great jobs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Vic, you know, I showed a picture to Vic of Image 360 made these for us. I just wanted to show that there. And Vic's response to this was, what did you say, Vic?
So that's our future.
That's the future
Just
right
looking
there.
at the future.
That's that's our future right there. So, you know, anybody out there listening right now, coworkers, team members, existing customers, hopefully potentially new customers. If anyone's out there listening and wants to know more about the solar and the tax credits, and Mike had a lot of good questions about the tax credits and stuff. A gentleman called today. He wanted to know more about the tax credits that are ending soon. Hopefully they renew that.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure they will, because I think every single year they say that they're going to end it. They usually take a couple points off. I think originally it started in I want to say like 2007 to 2009. It was like 30%, and then it went down to like 28%. I think now we're around 26%.
Yeah.
So
26 or 24 or something.
Yeah, 26% tax credit on your federal tax return. So, and Bruno, what do you say? Say excited for the big solar installation of Marcine. Yeah, man, we're definitely excited about it as well. Thank you for the support. Good afternoon, Ruby. Thanks for watching, buddy. So yeah, we got a lot of exciting things going on. We're running the special on the the roof tune-up. What do we call it? Not the tune-up, but the roof checkup.
Yeah,
sorry about that. I think everyone else calls it the tune-up, but we do the roof checkup along with the gutter checkup. We've had several of them come in.
Yeah.
I think they've been out all week long doing roof checkups. I've seen the emails come through. I've seen through our website. John actually set up through our Facebook account. I think it's called Facebook Ads or Facebook Leads. We're actually getting traction there as far as solar goes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of really cool things going on with John, and a lot of other things that we'll be launching here,
right,
in the near future, and we're actually going to do some Evolve STEM. We can touch on that and do a whole nother episode. I know they want to come back up and be with us on the show and talk about that, and we just recently did a job. Denny and Howie wrapped one up last week.
Yeah, that was a big one too, man.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stone on that house.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
David KX, just to answer your question, buddy. The internet down at the shop, the box that we have down in our old shop where the studio is set up, just stopped receiving a signal. We tried to get it fixed today, and unfortunately, you can't really get anywhere with Comcast sometimes. They kind of work at their own pace.
Yes.
Don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
So here we are doing it old school with the phone. I'm honestly not complaining, Bruno. I don't have to worry about a fan being on me today. It's nice and cool in here, brother.
For sure.
So I'm not complaining one bit. Hopefully our audio is okay, because it is kind of echoey in this room.
Yeah.
But this is our conference room. This is where the meeting of the minds happens.
Yes.
Multiple meetings of the minds happen every week with different departments and stuff.
Yeah.
This is where we come to for our trainings, and we have Zoom meetings with prospective customers or we work with vendors, GAF, or Shop Progress, anyone that we're going to be trying to do business with, or anything like that. So this is a pretty comfortable and familiar room for us.
It is, for sure. Yes. And I felt like we haven't left here yet today.
Right.
And that's the only downside about coming back to the shop. But every week we're at the shop, just the lower shop, or the studio. So two things going on down there. We lost internet, or we're still waiting on our AC to happen down there. It's quite, with the heat wave that we've been having, it's rather hot, and that's why Chris and Bruno kind of have their little
rather hot.
Yeah, their little side check here going on, because there was a fan blowing on Bruno last week. We try to keep our guests as comfortable as possible. And
I'm sitting across the table feeling sweat running down my back, and I see his shirt blowing in the window. I'm like, man, it must be nice.
But he was prepared. If you noticed the way that he was dressed, it was almost like he was warm.
Yeah.
He had his tank top on, his shorts, and his flip flops, like he just came to the beach.
Bruno reminds me of a SoCal beach boy.
Yes,
you know what I mean? I imagine he probably agreed with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Bruno? I know you're listening right now. I don't mean any offense by that whatsoever, bro.
None. We envy you.
But he was prepared. He was prepared, and I was not. I actually was a little prepared because I wore shorts.
Yeah.
So it could have been worse.
You had to see though, man. He had flip flops.
I know he did have flip flops on. His toes were showing too.
Yeah, he was definitely prepared, and he's always such a great guest.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that was a really good show.
Yeah, we definitely want to bring him back on anytime, and hopefully Dan Barker. I've actually spoke to him I think twice this week already, but not about coming on the show. I should have reminded him to see if he was allowed to come on the show. And honestly, it would just really be on a personal level. We don't have to make it about business. Diane Brooks, we want to get her back on the show because I believe we zoomed her in. And of course, we have other guests that are coming on the show. I know Tommy wants to come back on the show. He's got a lot of good things going on with his little foundation that he's built down there.
Yeah, Racing to Reunite.
Yeah. And then just Brad Whitlock from GAF and Karen and Owen want to come on one night, and we'll probably end up zooming them in so they don't have to make a special trip down here. That'll be a fun show because they're just great people.
Yeah, and they're so intelligent too, man.
Right.
So intelligent.
Yep, for sure. For
You
sure.
know, I'm really looking forward to the opportunities that this is going to bring. The solar install. I know we've been talking about it and keep harping on it, but it really is about the opportunities, not necessarily just growing the business, but I mean that comes along with it. But the opportunities for growth that we're going to have internally,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not just going to be like, hey, you can start out as a gutter guy and move to a service crew and then move to maybe a supervisor position or something like that. But you can move to a whole nother department. You can move to a whole nother aspect of things.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the change of scenery for some of the guys is going to be refreshing. You know, it's just going to be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to actually physically do these things and to be able to stand there at the end of the day with the guys and see the install and see what we did.
Yeah,
enjoy
it.
It's
Enjoy the
cool. It's going to be cool stuff for sure.
And speaking of which, you know, we're right now we're hiring again, of course, because we're constantly expanding. So right now we're looking for gutter installers. I would say general laborers, preferably the general laborers. And I say general laborers because we're looking for people who can deliver materials. So if you have, I guess you don't necessarily need to have general construction knowledge, but I mean that would help.
Yeah, for sure.
Just so you kind of know your way around a job site and the products and materials that we use. So if we go to send you to go pick something up, but definitely is not necessary, but definitely a clean driving record and obviously a driver's license would be required for that. Experienced gutter hangers, salespeople, trying to think who else. We'd be looking for supervisors, looking for someone to help supervise Maryland, looking for someone to help Chuck supervise the siding in Maryland and PA.
Yeah, and that person, that individual, you should be well versed in vinyl siding, hardy board, you know, all different types of vinyl siding. So board and batten, you should know the difference between the board and batten.
Yeah.
You know, the cedar shakes,
Right.
the beaded sidings, and also, I mean, with that, you should also have knowledge in the actual general construction build.
For sure.
Because there's going to be times where you're going to go out and have to quality control something, inspect a job, and the siding may look like it's messed up on the outside, but it's not really the siding that's messed up. It could be the framing underneath. It could be the way that the freeze board was run, or it could be missing a piece of flashing, and you just have to be able to pick that kind of stuff up. So
absolutely,
preferably someone that is well versed in that stuff.
You know, really, what we always pride ourselves on is quality and quality control, and with us constantly growing. You know, we need to make sure that we have enough supervision out in the field. So, you know, looking for a supervisor, typically what a lot of that will entail is quality control. What we need down in Maryland right now is someone that is capable of carrying a ladder, that's not afraid of heights, that can get on the roof, preferably someone with roofing knowledge and roofing experience. And then from there, we can expand the knowledge into the GAF world. You know, of Master Elite being certified and getting their certificate and passing the Field Guide Pro test, you know, and all that good stuff. And I mean, unless they've already came from a company that's familiar with GAF, we would still probably want to take them through, you know, the normal steps and training. It's a little refresher course. VSI, that's something that we didn't get to do yet this year, is have our VSI training, which I believe that we can do in-house now. We don't have to necessarily go somewhere. I think we can do it via Zoom. So that's something that we got to get set up yet this year. So then we can all kind of get our crash course and our feet wet, you know, or a refresher course. I'm sure Chuck, it would be a refresher course for him, a refresher course for myself and a couple of the other guys. But, you know, we're always trying to, you know, create a great work environment with positive people, surround ourselves around positive people. So if you got a great attitude and you're just sick and tired of being where you're at, you know, and you want to look for a place where there's room to grow, check us out. You know what I mean? Right now, we competitive wages, we pay pay holidays, pay vacations, health insurance, and dental, optical, 401ks right around the corner, which is probably just days away from that. You know, it's a career. When you come here, it's definitely a career. I can't express enough that we're constantly expanding and getting in other industries, you know, not just roofing, but now we're in solar and evolved stone and numerous other, you know, things that pertain to the industry that we're in. So.
Yeah, for sure. What's going on, Chris Markey? How you doing, buddy? Johnny Stauffer, how you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. And Zach, you're 100% right. We did not want to sweat tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to blame it on Comcast, but it's really because we didn't want to sweat during the shot.
True that.
Chris the plumber, you need to get up here.
Yes, where is he? I think he's on vacation.
Probably.
What's up, Johnny Stauffer?
But it's AC work, so.
That man right there, Johnny Stauffer, we just mentioned you a little bit earlier. He plays a key role in what we do here behind the scenes. If we don't give you enough credit, we really mean to give you a lot of credit, and we do actually. You might not hear, but we talk about you a lot and how much that you do and how great the website looks right now. How great our Facebook looks right now and everything and all the magic that he does behind the scenes. We're really grateful for that.
Yeah. Sure. I don't personally use the website very much, obviously, but I definitely try to pop in there every week or every other week or something like that, just to check out what's going on and see what's on it. And it looks phenomenal. I mean, it's leaps and bounds different, you know, from where we started. And, I mean,
for sure.
It doesn't look like just like a template, custom website.
You know, copy paste. Not at all.
Pay someone $10 to create a domain for you or whatever. It's a very nice website.
Right.
And it's constantly changing too. So,
right. Well, John's kind of turned it into like a training tool, learning tool. You know, if you're interested in solar, go on our website, check it out. If you're interested in like what warranties that we offer, go on our website. You know, so not just for anyone who's interested in that, but our teammates too as well. Like, you know, if there's something you need to know, and God forbid if it's not on the website, mention it to us. And if there's something that you want to learn about or think that we should have someplace that you have access to it, let us know and we can put it on the website.
Yeah.
So thank you, John, for all that. And he works magic and quickly too.
True. And he's one of those guys, man, you call him any time of the day, he picks his phone up.
Absolutely. My favorite day to call him Sundays. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, John, for everything you do, buddy.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yep.
So Mike Brown, are you on here, man? I haven't seen him comment here, so I don't think he's on here yet.
I haven't seen him yet.
I'm gonna try to go live from his house, kind of give you guys an inside scoop as to what goes on during these roof checkups.
Yeah.
You know, see what we're gonna find. I have no idea what we're walking into, so this isn't gonna like be pre-scripted or anything like that. I have no idea what we're gonna find.
Right.
I was on his roof personally a year ago, but and you know, 3/4 of his roof is covered in solar panels.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not sure what was going on underneath them. I know from what we saw, I mean, we did replace a good bit of shingles up there when we did our repair that we did. To replace the plywood, but he kind of gave me a heads up that, you know, we might need to do a plywood replacement. So I'm gonna make sure we take a sheet of plywood down with us and just kind of give the ins and outs on how that process works, what we're gonna be looking what our protocol is for that, how we present that to the customer, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because just because we're only there to fix a couple pipe boots and up to X amount of shingles
Right.
and gutter cleaning or whatever they pay for there doesn't mean that we're not going to fix a piece of plywood if we find it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and above all else, the honesty factor behind it on Mike, this is what I'm seeing up here.
Mhm.
This is why I'm not going to recommend you to get a new roof.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's honestly what I'm hoping for. I don't want to say that as like I'm hoping that our business isn't making money or anything like that. I'm hoping that our customers don't have to come out of pocket, $10 grand to put a new roof on their house. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also want them to have faith that when we say that, that's really the case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're
For
not
sure.
just saying this to get a check.
No, listen, when we first mentioned to John this is what we want to do, because it's much more than just a roof inspection. You actually get an entire exterior report.
Mm-hmm.
We look at your siding, we look at your windows, your shutters, your roof. When we're there for $147, you'll get a full report, pictures, videos, whatever, however you like that. We'll do that, but you'll definitely receive pictures, videos if necessary. We'll show you why you don't need to replace your roof, what extra repairs that go over and beyond the actual, checkup portion of it that we might recommend that you may need to do now. You can wait 3 months, wait 3 years, or every 12 months you're going to need someone to come out and perform some sort of maintenance because of either a skylight, roof boots, chimney, real chimney, brick and mortar chimney. Flashing should definitely be inspected. I would say at least once a year, because especially if it's an older home, because they can actually end up leaking, and you think it's a roof leak, but it's not necessarily your roof that's leaking. It could be your old brick and mortar chimney that's actually leaking. The crown could be cracked. The mortar in between the bricks could be deteriorating.
Yeah,
it could be
bricks.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah,
It
absolutely.
sucks water in.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're looking forward to going down to Mike's. I know Chris is. I don't know if I'll be available that day or not, but I know, are you bringing Gio with you?
Yeah, me and Gio are going to go down.
Cool.
So he's kind of my go-to guy down in Maryland, which, by the way, speaking of that, I want to kind of shout him out real quick right now. He's been doing a lot of work down in Maryland with a particular warranty supervisor on some warranty work for a particular builder that we do work for. And these warranty supervisors have territories, they have regions. And this particular guy is in a very busy community that we have in Aberdeen. And when you do 900 houses a year in one community, you're gonna have little knickknacks pop up and service calls and 1 year maintenance reports and that kind of stuff.
Storms come through.
Yeah, he's been down there quite a lot. Got familiar with this guy. Well, this guy actually went out of his way and reached out to me today and was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that this guy that you got, Giovanni, he's a rock star. He personally guarantees the work that he does. I haven't had to come back on anything. He's very, very knowledgeable, very respectful of the homeowners."
Yes.
He's educational. He educates the homeowners while he's on the sites. He's by far my favorite guy that you guys have.
Awesome.
And the thing is, Kai, in the almost 3 years that he's been here, I've never heard different.
Yeah, me neither.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I always, if I hear any feedback about this man, it is always good.
Absolutely.
And that kind of stuff right there makes my job so much easier.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I know that I can send him down there and I don't have to go babysit him.
No.
I don't have to show up on that site and handle the homeowner and handle the supervisor.
Right.
I can send Gio down. He does both.
Yes.
He manages his men very well. He has 2 guys that work underneath him. He manages them very well.
Yes.
He even helps out with some of the language barrier stuff that we have with some of our new guys, some of our Spanish speakers. He just, above and beyond all the time. I mean, heck, he got home on Monday. We had a van that broke down in Baltimore. He went and picked up one of their guys and a bunch of tools, drove the whole way back here at the end of the day, hopped in his personal vehicle, went back down to Maryland, picked up the rest of the guys and took them home.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's after working, 10, 12 hours.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah.
Would still show up with a smile on his face the next one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know.
And
I noticed that this morning.
It's
with,
above and beyond.
Even with the meeting that we had this morning, he was the one that was engaged in the meeting and was all for like the changes that we needed to make and was translating for us, because he is bilingual.
Yeah.
Bilingual. So I mean, he's just always has been a great help and great personality. And when you started to talk about him, and it's like, his dad works for us too, and his dad, you can tell the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? His dad, I'm not even sure how old he is, but he's an older gentleman, but a beast. You know what I mean? So you can definitely see where Gio gets his work ethic from, and
we got his nephew works with him now.
yes, his nephew
Taylor.
Yes.
He's fresh out of high school. I mean, we had him working here for us, and we had to actually cut him back on his hours and stuff because obviously there's labor laws and all that kind of stuff. But like, I mean, he's out there rocking it.
Yes.
He's a go-getter.
He
You know what I mean? I can tell that. Gio told me when going into this that my nephew's going to come. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but he's my helper on the weekends. Like when I do projects and stuff, he's the guy that helps me.
Yeah.
So I mean, I heard that and I was like, get in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's gonna have the work ethic. He's gonna read between the lines and think outside the box kind of attitude. The it.
Yes.
The it that we talk about.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
yes.
I can't train you on that it.
No.
That's developed.
Yes.
I don't necessarily want to say that you're born with it because I feel like everyone has the capability of being born with it. It has to be developed by somebody that you trust, that you look up to, that you gain your attributes from. I mean, a lot of times that's a father figure. That's somebody that takes you under your wing when you first cut your teeth on whatever you're doing, or and he couldn't have a better person to be working with every day. Gio training him the right way the first time, I feel inspired to see how old he is and be willing to learn and catch on as quickly as he did, because one of our biggest things, we're huge advocates of getting students into the trades, and he is like the poster child. He really is the poster child for a student, a graduate of high school and getting into the trades at an early age, and regardless if he sticks with it or not, at least he'll be good with his hands. With whatever direction he does decide to go, he gave this a chance. He gave it the opportunity, and I'm sure he's making decent money with the hours that the guys put in, and who knows what. I mean, the kid's got a bright future, regardless of whichever direction. Whatever it is, whether it's here or somewhere else.
Yes, wherever he goes, he's going to have a bright future ahead of him. He's just a good kid. He pays attention. He's very respectful, and just isn't one of those snot-nosed punk kids. That thinks he knows it all, or came here saying, "Hey, I need X, Y, Z," or else, He wasn't. I never got that vibe from him. And again, like you said, it was the upbringing. It's his influences that he has right now. He's got Gio. He's got Gio's dad. He's got their other partners that they're working with that who have been here, for a while.
Marcel.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and one of the things that really stuck out with me is I know how hard it is out there, especially this time of year. It's when you're out there on these roofs all day, 10, 12 hours a day, and then you got that hour and a half, 2 hour drive home at the end of the day. I know you're tired. You know what I mean? I know you're tired. I'm not too far from being in that same position. So I know what it feels like, and to be young like that, to have that go-getter mentality, and then he comes in here with a smile every day. And Ty, I'm not even joking. Like he every morning when he comes in and says hi to me and shakes my hand every morning. Every morning. There's never not been a morning that he sticks his hand out and shakes my hand every morning and says good morning to me. You know what I mean? Like kids that are 17, 18 years old, no offense to any 17 or 18-year-olds out there, it's just that's not common anymore, man.
Not really.
You know what I mean? That respect your elders, the hard work mentality, the just go get her, smile on your face, get up and put up or shut up kind of attitude. You don't see it a lot anymore, man. So it's refreshing, and that's a direct representation of the people that he surrounds himself with. So kudos to you, Gio. I appreciate you, brother. You're probably not even watching this because you're probably still working right now.
For sure.
But maybe you'll catch that on the replay. I appreciate everything that you do for real. And even the guys that don't see it, that are inside the company, they subliminally appreciate it because you make their lives easier too.
Absolutely.
So
we couldn't do any of this without you.
No.
You know, there's no way, like we talked about this morning, you know, we're in the position that we're in right now because of him and multiple other people, you know, the Denny's, the Derricks, and everyone else. I mean, everyone that was standing in that room this morning, we couldn't do this without any of them. You know what I mean? There's just no way that we would have enough confidence to be able to get into solar, to get into Evolve Stone, you know, anything that we decide to get into, or feeling comfortable enough to provide 401ks. You know what I mean? That's going to be a big nut to break off, but you know, that's us wanting to really give back and show our appreciation and have a good place to work, a place where that you know you have a future, a place that you know that you can grow in, and a place that you know that you can retire from. You know, that's the end game. At the end of the day, that's really, you know, when I see the Collins and the Chucks and those guys come rolling in either on a new motorcycle or, you know, Colin that day that he came rolling in their brand new grocery getter. I don't know why he drove that to work one day, but he come rolling in. They just bought it like that the night before. He came rolling in the minivan. And you know, that's why I get out of bed every morning. You know what I mean? That's why we're here, and you know, just to make a positive impact on somebody else's life is really, you know, if we can continue to keep that, we're going to continue to keep growing. We're going to keep continuing in a positive way. We're going to surround ourselves around the same people who think the way that we do. You know what I mean? It's not always been that way, and it's not always going to be that way. There's going to be trials and errors. Like today, we went through a situation today. Okay, so we got to examine what happened. You know what I'm saying? What can we do to fix that solution? Okay, we stayed stuck for about 3 minutes in the problem. Okay, and then after that we moved on to like, okay, right away everybody was already like solution. You know what I mean? And that's the culture that we wanted to create, and that's the culture that we have.
Absolutely, and let me just throw that out there too. Like, so number one, it's very, very easy in any aspect of your life to get bummed out when you know you invest a lot of time and energy in whatever it is that you're coming across, and you fail or you stumble or someone doesn't agree or have the same mentality or think that it's as great as you do. You know what I mean? It's very easy to get stuck in that and be like, maybe they're right. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Maybe this isn't right. Maybe, you know what I mean? But like you said, you come up with solutions, and let's just say all 5 of those solutions that we come up with, they don't work. It's going to be very easy to get stuck in that gloomy, that didn't work, what do I do now? You come up with another one. You know what I mean? You keep working at it because failure isn't an option in stuff that you're passionate about. And that's why it's important to have everyone around you drinking the juice per se, to have the vision, to have that drive, because otherwise, if they're not seeing the vision, if they don't agree with you know the direction and all that stuff, they're going to be very easy to fall into that. This isn't going to work. Like, you know what I mean? So and I was a big one of them. I mean, I had a part in you know the trials and tribulations that we went through today.
The growing,
you know, the long drive home. And I'm sure that everyone that was involved in it was probably in the same exact spot where I was. Everyone was driving separate, you know what I mean? And I'm sure everyone had a very quiet, no radio on, at least I know I did. You know, just you know, really processing and when we get back to the shop, you know, I know me personally, I talked to a couple of the guys that were involved in stuff, and before I even got back to the shop, we were already like, all right, this is what needs to happen. This is what I think needs to happen. Here's the problem. Here's 7 different solutions that we think might work. We come back and we talk to someone and try to get them started on this, and I don't know if it's going to work.
Right.
I don't know, but what I do know that isn't going to work is us sitting here and crying about it.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where it's so important to have a good team that is going to keep trying, even if it doesn't work. Yeah. They're going to keep trying all these things. Yeah, for sure. Failure is
not give up, not quit, because the only time, and Vic, you've said this on numerous occasions, I've heard you say it, the only way you fail is if you quit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah, that's where it
is. So today we experienced a little growing pains, and if you really sit back and think about like the situation that happened, it wasn't even really that bad, but we all take so much pride in what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're so used to things going good.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm not even going to say good, because we've had, look at all the things that we've gone through and just came out the other side. We're hiring people. People are buying houses in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes.
Industries are getting shut down, and people don't even know if they're going to have a job tomorrow. Right. We're out here buying homes and hiring people.
Baker bought a home, GM bought a home, we all bought a home.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Drew, and all in the period, we had 3 people purchase homes.
Yes.
People buying vehicles and
just like 2 maybe 3 motorcycles.
Pandemic what?
Right.
You know what I mean? But we're so used to, we've had this 18-month period where it's like, oh my God, the world's crashing down around us, but like everything's great over here.
Yeah, we're kind of like in our own bubble.
You know what I mean? And then as soon as somebody pops that bubble real quick, it's like,
the outside world knocked on the door today.
Yeah, for sure. So it's very easy to get wrapped up in that, but like you said, man, we got a great team around us.
Yeah.
Failure is not an option.
Right.
And like we sit up here and say all the time, we ain't perfect.
No, and the relationships that we've built over the years are stronger than whatever mistake that we could possibly make. I really feel that way. Yeah. It wouldn't matter what, I don't want to say it wouldn't matter what happens, but we've had our relationships that we've built over the years with our partners and people that we do work for, or other partners like Image 360, or the Dan Barkers of the world, or David Bruno's. With the help and support of those people, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. But when there is a mistake that happens, and we catch it, and to be able to catch it and correct it immediately, that's one thing. But I got off track there a little bit. But we've done work like let's just say Ryan Homes, for instance. Okay, we've done work either directly or indirectly with Ryan Homes. I either did work for Ryan as a subcontractor through a subcontractor, or as we do today, we work directly through Ryan Homes. Okay, so there's people there, there's relationships that I've had with people there. I've watched them go through college, okay, and now are the area production managers. Like, that's how long I've known these people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're asking me questions. Sometimes even higher than that. Some people are, running the show in big time positions and stuff, and that doesn't happen by accident.
No.
What I mean?
Yes.
And but one thing, I will say, when I said we're not perfect, the one thing that we are perfect at, Ty, is admitting, yes, we're wrong here, and finding a solution to fix it. You know what I mean? We don't ever just say, sorry, you're SOL, man.
Or not,
you know what I mean?
Not attack it. Like, we run to it, not from it.
Right.
Like today, we kind of ran to it, and again, it was a big deal to us, but it may not be a big deal to anyone else.
Right.
But we made it a big deal, and it really wasn't. It's not even that big of a deal to even talk about it. I don't even know how we got on the topic of it tonight, but looking back now, it was like, okay, so what? Really? But that wasn't our initial response or action to, there was a small issue, and it wasn't life-threatening. Everyone's safe. No one got injured.
Yeah.
We're all able to go home happy, healthy. We have all of our fingers and toes. We're not going to court tomorrow. And you know what I'm saying? I don't have to report to my PO tomorrow. None of those worries or things that have happened or I've witnessed or guess what? We get to go home tonight, be with our families, wake up tomorrow and get to do this all over again. How lucky are we?
Yeah.
How grateful. We've never had it so good, man. We've never had it so good.
Right. There's a lot to be thankful for, man. And it's, like I said, it's so easy to get wrapped up in the 2%, 3% negative in your life sometimes. Because, I mean, let's face it, the negatives usually scream a lot louder than the positives. Of course. You know what I mean? And in today's world, the social media driven, materialistic driven world, everyone wants to point out the negatives and the failures. Everyone wants to. You know what I mean? That's,
for sure.
That's just facts, man. Very rarely, you know, one thing that I heard that I really liked today, something negative happens, 100 people are going to know about it. You know, one person's going to spread that to the next person, to the next person, to the next person.
Right.
Before you know it, 100 people. Something positive happens, that same person might tell 10 people.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's people live and feed off of the negative energy anymore nowadays, and it's so easy to get wrapped up in that.
Right.
And to sometimes fall victim to that and say, you know what, maybe they're right. You know what I mean? But you just gotta keep attacking it, man. You just gotta keep going forward. And that's not just business, that's not just, you know, your employer, you know, your employment, your job, or anything like that. Like that's just life in general, man. That's anything you come across, you know, home life, anything like that.
Exactly. But being in school.
Crap's gonna happen.
Right.
You know, it's how you're defined by how you fix that stuff and how you respond to it and what you do to address that stuff. So
I will say for me today, being a part of that, the biggest part of it I took away from it is that not one of us walked out of that room feeling good about it.
Right.
Right.
I
It
know that
wasn't
sounds crazy,
but
right. We all cared enough that it hurt. Like it hurt.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that shows. That shows the level of care.
Right.
That shows the level of.
And that's what Chuck just said. Chuck just said if it didn't bother you, then you didn't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like Alan just said, haters make you famous.
Yep.
You know.
It's the truth, man. It's the truth. But like Todd said, I mean, we've definitely probably spent entirely too much time on even harping on this because that's just feeding into more of like, you know, the negativeness of it. You know, stuff happens.
Right.
You know, when you're out there and you're exposing yourself as much as we do, stuff is going to happen sometimes. It's how we respond to that. You know, we're going to have sometimes that, you know, we put 3,000 to 4,000 roofs on a year. We're going to get a leak sometimes, man. It's going to happen.
And what's crazy is there's probably more than that. We have one builder that we may end up putting 1,500 roofs on for. One builder. You know, and that's not counting the retailing things. That's not counting all the other builders that we do. And you know, the achievements that we've made, you know, are, if you really sit back and think about it, I mean, are totally ridiculous. Okay, let's talk about our business licenses once. Okay, so we're licensed in 5 different states. Okay, that just doesn't happen. Now, granted, Pennsylvania, you go online and pay $50, whatever. Okay, in Delaware, not only do you need to have a license in every single county. Now, granted, there's only 3 counties in Delaware, but every city that you work in, we have to have a license in. So the city of Rehoboth, Lewis, Middletown, Millsboro, every town, not even city, every town, we have to have a license in. That's not easy. That's not where you just go online and pay $50. We just recently LLC TC Backer Construction in Delaware. You can't just go online and do that either.
Right.
Okay? That's how confident I feel because of the team. And I said because that's how confident I feel, because I don't know about anyone else, but that's how confident I feel in our team that we're able to put ourselves out there. Okay, so now let's talk about Maryland. Let's talk about the hoop shutters I'm doing in Maryland. They rip and tear through everything, and you need to have so much money in the bank before you can even file. Before you can even, and then you got to take a test, take another test, take another test. You know what I mean? That's an ongoing. I mean, it's ridiculous. Okay, we have a board out there. There's a board out there that needs to probably end up being twice as big as it is between all the licenses we have, all of the certifications that we have. Now let's talk about Virginia. Okay, Virginia license. We thought Maryland was bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We thought Maryland was bad. That Perry worked on that, and I'm not afraid to say that I didn't do it. Perry did it. That's how much confidence I have in our team. I didn't have to do this one this time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, my name and they ripped through all my stuff, but you know, we have people that are smart enough to be able to do these things. How cool is that?
Right.
10 years ago, I couldn't say that. There wasn't anything that didn't go on that I wasn't involved with. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. You know, but to say that we have a team today, I mean, an awesome team.
Absolutely, dude.
Like, I just want you guys to know, like, how proud. Seriously, I know things happen and whatever, you know, whether it be, you know, personal things that go on or mistakes that are made and you know, or spell check didn't catch a word or whatever. Things are going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and when the smoke clears and the dust settles, man, I am proud of each and every person. You know what I mean? Between the licenses, the A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau since 2012. Do you know how hard it is to deal with the public?
Dude, especially in today's world, media-driven world, especially doing these things every week. I mean, how easy is it for someone to get this phone or just pop on here and be like, you guys suck?
Right. And I'm not saying this to pump myself up. Hopefully I'm pumping you guys up to just, but really I'm reminding myself, like, it's okay to have a bad day every now and then.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's, I'm sure that you can agree with this, and right there's a perfect person that's commenting right there, Lauren. There's so many things that go on a daily basis. You know, I remember when I first started here, your biggest milestone or bump or wall that was blocking us from growing was, you know, everything's got to get run through Todd first.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I got to be the one that says, like, yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, go ahead and do this. Chris, you go do this. Bobby, go do this.
Right.
But like nowadays, man, there's so many decisions that are made and things that are done that are handled without Ty even knowing about it. Like, there's some times that I'll call him at the end of the day and be like, hey, by the way, we did this, we did this, we did this.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just me.
Yeah.
Lauren, you know what I mean? How many retail decisions go on retail jobs and you know, fiascos and things that happen that, you know, her and Denny and Howie and Glenn all put their heads together and figure out without you even knowing about it. Like, hey, by the way, this happened, this was the solution, this is what happened.
I appreciate
you know what I mean?
that.
Like, but just to extend on that even further, the people that are directly under you, myself, Glenn, you know, Chuck, how many things happen with our guys that I feel comfortable, like Giovanni, like how many problems does he run into where he's like, okay, like this isn't on my ticket today, but this is what needs to happen to make this good.
Right.
Hey Chris, by the way, today I was at this place, I had to go to Myers and pick this up, I had to go fix this.
Right.
He didn't have to run that by me because I trust that he's going to make the right decision for
You
the
have to
benefit of
trust
the
your
team.
team.
Absolutely.
You have to trust your team. If not, see, and like you said that, you know, not that long ago, I was the bottleneck, and I knew that prior to that. I knew that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But my biggest thing is that, one, not that we didn't have a team,
right?
Okay, but I didn't trust. Okay, and I don't want to say trust the team. I didn't trust anyone.
Right.
I didn't trust anyone, wouldn't matter who it was at that point in time, but I knew that I was holding us back. And I could see over my career where there was other obstacles that were holding us back. And to have an aha moment and realize that, you know what, I'm the bottleneck now. This isn't the bottleneck. That's not the bottleneck. I've become the bottleneck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I need to get out of here and give that to someone else and let them run with it, because I either heard it or read it someplace that, and I may say this wrong, but if I remember correctly, it's if I start delegating things, and even if that person only does it 70% as well as I would have, it's probably still 100% better, because at this point in time, I'm just mediocre at everything. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm only mediocre, so that 70% is still 100 times better than what it was the way that I was operating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I may have said that wrong, but to me that makes sense at this point in time, and hopefully that made sense to everybody else. And knowing that and being able to grasp that concept, like, okay, I have to let go here. I'm going to kill myself, run myself into the ground, and burn myself out, and we're just not going to be able to grow. And my mission was to be able to, and I swear to God, was to provide good paying jobs in the community. You know what I'm saying? I know I had struggled, wasn't given very many opportunities. And don't get me wrong, I was presented opportunities. There was opportunities there, and I'll go back a little bit. There was a point in time in my life where I wasn't presented very many opportunities, because nobody would have given me opportunities in those days. Okay, but where I've come from, you know, it's I know in the things that I've learned over the years, I have to give this thing away to keep it. And I have to practice that principle in every aspect of my life, whether it be professional or personal. I have, if I want to keep this thing, I have to give it away. I have to, and if you want to dissect that a little bit, on so many different levels, I have to give it away, whether it be the knowledge or delegate responsibilities. And without that, we're not going to be able to grow. In order for you to have a group of people under you, in order to have a group of people under you, I mean, this thing unfolds and can continue to keep unfolding and grow and grow and grow and grow, as long as we can continue to keep surrounding ourselves around the right positive group of people. The sky's the limit. Yeah. And that's probably my favorite catchphrase, is the sky's the limit. We can take this as far as Vic wants to take this. We can take this as far as Chris Baker wants to take this. We can take this as far as Lauren wants to take this. I promise you, I'm not scared.
Yeah, I know. And like the other, just, you know, the flip side of that is, you know, even if you first let go and allow, you know, let's just say, you know, when you gave all the responsibilities to me that you gave me to, even if you thought in the back of your head, like, I think he's going to fail at doing this part of this, I think he's going to fail, you almost have to let that go down. You know what I mean? Because
I had to.
Because if every time you feel like something's not going to go right, you step in, I'm not ever going to learn through that failure.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
And you have no idea how hard that was.
Oh, I guarantee that.
The last piece of the puzzle for me was letting the roof schedule go to Brandon and Tyler. There for a second, I didn't let go of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I knew that there was going to be certain areas that they may feel or may not respond quickly enough, or whatever the case was. But then it was like, you know what, I need to let them fail. You know, it's just, I have to. Because without that, if I continue to keep coddling, well, you're not going to learn your job.
Right.
You're not going to learn anything from it.
Yeah.
And that's a tough lesson as the owner of a business, who this business hasn't been passed down through the generations, which hopefully we can pass this down through our generations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it be, you know, when you know, Gio's nephew Tyler gets old enough and takes and fills Gio's shoes, and then when he's old enough, he can fill your shoes, or however we want to pass this thing down. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is your guys' baby now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, however high you want this to go, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know,
you almost gotta look at it like a toddler. You know what I mean? Like you can walk around your toddler all day, and you know, every time they go to fall or bump into something, you can stop them real quick. And
yes.
Don't do that. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Yes.
Or, you know, you're gonna scrape your knee. You almost gotta let them fall sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because otherwise, they're not gonna learn. If they know that dad's going to be there to scoop them up every time and not let them fall, they're never going to learn.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's the same thing in this too, and that works the whole way down the cycle. You know, there's some times where you just got to be uncomfortable, and even if you know that so and so may not do this as good as you think that you can do it,
right.
the chances are they're probably going to be just fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure.
And that's the confidence in the team that we got, man. And you know the people that we sit and surround ourselves in the rooms with when we talk about all this stuff, and you know the guys out in the meeting this morning, and it's just good stuff, man.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff, and thank you guys for letting me be in the position that I'm in today to actually be able to work on the business and not in the business so much anymore. And I know there's times that there are things that I kind of want to get back involved with or whatever. And I think a lot of times what it is, I feel guilty that, you know, I just felt like, here you go, you know, but felt like, okay, maybe I didn't explain it well enough, or maybe I should have trained better, or maybe I should have did this or did that. But, you know, watching and listening and learning myself throughout this process, it's like, okay, I gotta let it go. And Tom, I appreciate, you know, your kind words there, man, and thank you. I think you're a great guy too. You know, and you're another positive influence that I appreciate, that you're helping us in this growing process, and I hope that you can grow, you know, and learn and be a better person, because really it's not just about a professional thing here. It's more personal for me, and I know that you know, not only am I growing as a worker, but hopefully in our personal lives, while we're here and outside of here, we can be better people. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm not just talking about being able to provide a better life for your family, but just your integrity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not one thing that we do here that's shady. Nope. There's not one thing that we do here that we cut corners on. There's not one thing that we do that we don't practice integrity with, or honesty, or honor, or you know, all of those things. You know what I mean? Those are our core values. You know what I mean? And I wholeheartedly feel that way. You know, I may have a bad day, and I might be blinded by whatever is blinding me at that point in time. But it's like, you know, the older that I get, it's like, okay, we got to pick and choose our battles here a little bit better. You know what I mean? And there are certain things that just don't get me so excited anymore. You know, and thank God for that. Right. You know what I mean? And you know, and that's because I'm maturing, I'm bettering, and I'm constantly looking at myself to see how I can better myself and be a better leader. And hopefully that rubs off on you, and hopefully that rubs off on you, and Lauren, and Tom, and Glenn, and Brandon. You know
what creates that tie is surrounding yourself with the people, and this isn't just you, this is all of us. Mm-hmm. You know, I know that if I mess up, my fellow managers, my peers are going to call me on that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If I don't handle something correctly, you know, if I spout off the mouth, if you spout off the mouth, if Vic, you know, loses his temper on something, or not saying that these things are real things, but like realistically, like I know that if I'm not handling something right, or Vic's not handling something right, or Chuck isn't handling something right, we're going to tell each other about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's how you grow. You know what I mean? Like that's how you get to that position, because you're not ever gonna, if people don't check you, you know what I mean? That's a true team and true friendship and stuff.
Absolutely.
You know,
that means that person doesn't care.
Right. Yeah. And I said it last week when David Bruner was on the show. You know, it's easy to sit around somebody and just agree and co-sign everything that they said. Yeah. That's not a real partner. That's not a real friend, man. Your real friend should put you in check when you're wrong.
Yeah. I want to say something. Go back to what you were saying about handing things over. Okay. From the perspective of someone that you trusted, the responsibilities you gave me, dude, that trust is like, that's my motivator. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's like to make you feel at ease with that, by you trusting me to do what I do, which is a huge responsibility.
I'm just kidding.
But that's my motivator.
Right.
Yeah. To know that you trust me to do what I do, it's huge, man. It's huge. And I take that.
You is big.
And I take that to heart, because you've trusted me with that responsibility.
Right. You know, and that's a part of this puzzle that I think a lot of people don't even think about, because, you know, if you weren't doing what you were doing, that's that foresight. You're keeping that 3 week, that 3 day, that 3 week, that 3 month, that 3 year process moving. You're helping with that moving. You know, right now you're bidding on that project in Yorkdale.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to break ground until 2022.
Right.
But those are the things that we have to do, and what's cool about that kind of stuff is, that's government. That's gonna happen whether something crashes or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of why that's important, and you saw how important that was, and you made it, you obsessed over it.
Yeah, I did.
You know what I'm saying? Which is, you knew you did, you knew we needed to take a step back, but that's you trying to better yourself as a human being, and that's the whole point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, right. Chris Markey, his commercial that he put on, man, I loved it. You remember what the main gist around that commercial was? If anyone doesn't know Chris Markey, he's
Right.
to the T, does all of our stuff, does a lot of stuff in the local area. Great guy, great business owner, and just great mind.
Yes.
What he tries to create, his culture he tries to create in his business, in his life, it's just good quality of life for the people he surrounds himself with, his employees, his family. That's what it's all about, man. You know, and just to throw that out there for, you know, to go on the hiring aspect, even if you don't have or are currently employed right now, if you feel like the place that you're at right now does not provide you a good quality of life, come check us out, man.
Yeah, for real.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about,
Well,
man.
what you just said can go two ways. Okay?
Absolutely.
We all have a choice of how we're going home at the end of the day.
100%.
If you have a really crappy day, you can take it home, make everybody at home as miserable as you are,
Right.
or you can leave it right here, learn from it, let it go home and have a great night,
Yes.
Yeah,
and come back tomorrow,
fresh
that's a
mind.
fresh start.
Yeah.
Get to do it all over again.
Yeah, go home, take a shower, wash the day off you, and you know,
Yep.
it's business as usual tomorrow. So,
Absolutely.
that's what it's all about, man. Quality of life, making sure that you know you're constantly doing the right thing and surrounding yourself with good people
Yeah.
that will call you on your stuff and you know will help you attack things and fix the stuff that's gonna happen because stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
stuff's
and
gonna
it's
happen.
one thing to talk shit on someone behind their back, but to be able to go and confront them like, hey, you know, I think you're kind of goofing up here, I think you're kind of goofing up there, and then after saying that to that person and saying, okay, what can I do to help?
Right. Yeah.
You know, and maybe them not necessarily saying that in so many words, but knowing that at the end of that conversation, you feel like, okay, yes, they put me in my place, but I also feel their support. You know what I'm saying? And that's everyone holding each other. You have to hold your team accountable. You have to. And you got to let them know when, you know, we don't have to accept unacceptable behavior today either. We're not in that. This isn't, I don't even want to label it, but we're different. Okay? This is different here. You know, this isn't, you know, again, I don't want to label something, but it's different.
Yeah.
You know, things are different here. It's kind of the newer way of the way things should be ran in, you know, not the corporate world, but in a work environment.
It's a family, bro.
Yes, you know,
This is what it is.
because it's not. This isn't what it was when I was growing up and coming up through this.
No.
You were screamed at, you were yelling at, you got your ass beat on a job site, and that was acceptable. You know what I mean? And that's we want to do. Yeah, it's right. It's not a daycare, man. It's work for real. You know what I mean? You know, getting in fights on job sites and yelling and screaming at each other. You know, that's old school behavior. You know what I mean? And not that things aren't going to happen. And you know, and I hate saying, well, you know, it is construction, but it is. But we are professionals. We've never had this. We make this industry look good. And that's the point I'm trying to make. We want, you know, we're not just roofers. We're trained, we're certified. We're there's nothing that we don't touch that we haven't been trained on. The nails that we drive, we're taught on which direction and how that nail should be drove. You know what I mean? There is a right way and a wrong way to do things. You know, we've been trained by the best in the business, the elite. And we're amongst the elite now.
You gotta take pride in what you do, man.
Absolutely. We have to take pride.
Yeah.
You know, we have to, man. We have to. For sure. So we've actually reached our hour. I appreciate everyone that tunes in every week. I appreciate the team. I love every single one of you. And Jana, thank you for everything that you do. And you know, and I'm grateful that I'm able to provide the life, you know, for our kids and grandkids and everything and the quality of life that we have today. You know, I couldn't do that without the team, and I want to spread that love and joy, you know, to each and every one of you guys. I really do. I want you guys to be just as comfortable as I am. I owe it to you. I'm in debt to each and every one of you guys, you know, and our viewers and our partners and our teammates and everybody. You know, it's a we thing. I think somebody said it in the comments there. This is a we thing. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a we thing.
For sure, man.
I just want to take a second, man, and shout out my son Matt for helping with the Soul Friends.
Yes. Thank
He
you, man.
stepped up and
Appreciate
came
you,
in
man.
and just did an awesome job.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So anyone that's, you know, not doing nothing tomorrow, even if you are doing something, make sure you guys pop on and check us out.
Yeah.
We're gonna be having a blast. We're gonna go live.
Stop by 25 Fern Drive, Manchester. If you want to see a solar system being installed tomorrow, I don't mind if you want to stop by tomorrow. We'll be there from about 7:30 to whenever, however long it takes. I would imagine till at least 5 tomorrow. So, you know, and again, thank you for all your viewers. All you viewers, we still have 23 people on there. We've been a consistent 18, 19, 20 people that have been watching week in, week out, every week. You know, thank you. And thank you, Mike Brown. And Mike did chime in here. Mike, you're the man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the voice messages that you left me today.
Yeah.
I shared them with Vic and Chris, and you put a smile on my face because you were like, yeah, I'm on my way home. I just wanted to make sure I'm not going to miss you guys. And thank you, you know, thank you for thanking us for, you know, and identifying, you know, our willingness to do the next right thing. You know,
Mike, I'll give you like 36 hours heads up notice to go get a shape up. You know, make sure your hair's looking nice and shine your glasses up and everything. So I'm putting it on live. I'm going to show the viewers exactly how a roof checkup goes down. You may or may not be on the camera, but just giving you a heads up. That's what's going down.
Yeah.
GOC on Friday morning, probably 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. We'll make sure that you're good and hopefully you don't need a new roof, bro.
Yeah, right on. But thank you guys. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Lauren, for all the nice and awesome comments. You guys make it worth coming in here. And if there's someone that we forgot, David Katz, thank you. I felt like it was a really great show. Alan, you're the man. Every week we are family. Thank you. Mike said Ty isn't your average owner, nor is he your agent. Anyway, dude, thank you so much for everything that you do, and I'm trying to read this. For whatever reason, my phone doesn't work. Like
your thing's not
everyone, like everyone else's does. But anyhow, thank you guys for tuning in every week.
Yeah.
Next week, what we'll do is we'll share some photos and perhaps a video of the solar install. We'll get some great footage of that from Soup to Nuts. We should have took some pictures of the panels being put together, but that's okay. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and check us out next week.
Yeah, see you guys next week, 7 o'clock.